Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and we just live streamed the whole version of Hot Take Johnny and Amber's trial movie on Tubi. Oh my God, it was a mess. This movie was a mess of a movie. If you want to watch us watch the whole thing with our commentary, fair use commentary, we stopped and started throughout. You can become a member. Hit that join button today, and I'll make sure I put a link in the description as well so you can watch the full stream and you can watch us watch the whole thing if you really want to put yourself through that torture. Lewis came in a little later and he missed the biggest scene, which I want to share with you guys because this scene was pretty iconic. Probably the best in the movie, Kim, if I think so. Here 100%. Is Schmeagol himself showing up. And Lewis, are you ready to see your favorite person? Here he is.
In my opinion, Mr. Depp has behaviors that are consistent with both someone who has a substance use disorder as well as someone who is a perpetrator of intimate partner violence. I'm Dr. Spiegel, a psychiatrist and Miss Heard's expert witness. In terms
Not the one
of
from
the
Stanford.
acting part, he actually confessed that he did an entire movie while wasted. And we do know that he needed to have his lines fed to him for movies, which could
Lewis,
indicate...
is this working for you?
Think, Lewis?
Look at this, Lewis!
Alcohol abuse.
Earlier, you mentioned that Mr. Depp wore an earpiece while filming the movie, and that you found that hard to believe.
I don't believe it's routine for actors to be given their entire script through earpieces. I find that hard to believe.
What you found hard to believe,
I wish they had the
sir,
Gatorade.
was that every line of a script was being pumped through an earpiece. Where did you ever get the idea that that occurred?
From the court evidence, from the court review that I read.
So you know that it was music?
Oh.
Oh.
It was music, not his lines. Okay.
Did you know that Marlon Brando used an earpiece on the set of
Here
Rain?
comes Lewis. You ready?
Well, isn't he dead? So the answer is no. He does not use one now.
Lewis, see, they brought in Schmeagol. That was probably the best lookalike they could have had in the whole movie. And I know you love Schmeagol. Does that make you at least happy?
He's got the voice down, he's got the mannerisms, but the look isn't down there. Dr. Spiegel, you could Google him. He's a very handsome dude. He took a lot of fire away from Johnny Depp during the trial. As soon as he showed up, he started trending as the hottest guy involved. The guy doesn't look as good as Dr. Spiegel, but
no.
he nailed his voice at least.
Yeah, someone who also doesn't look as good as, I gotta be honest, here's the Dr. Shannon Curry.
Personality disorder. I'm Dr. Curry, Mr. Depp's expert witness. Follow me on Insta.
And what are
What
these
what was that, Kim? What? Follow me on Insta. They look. We're making this look way more interesting than it is. I'm literally showing you the two best parts of the movie. The rest are ridiculous recreations of the audio tapes and then flashbacks to cheaply made awful things. These are probably two of the most fun cameo moments, if anything. This movie was just such a mess of a movie. I want to review with you, Kim. I want to give our thoughts. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can see our commentary. But I got to start with and I'm going to come to you next, Kim, to get your prepare your thoughts. The biggest frustration to me is just it has no idea what it's trying to say. If this movie had at least been, and let me clarify, because we said in the beginning, this is like an adult movie parody, but without any of the bump, chicka, bow, wow. That's literally the best way I can describe this movie. It is so cheaply shot, made. The actors are just such poor imitations. The commenters were joking. It's the Wish version. It's the Dollar Tree version of this movie. It's really, really, really bad throughout. And what bugged me even more, because I expected that, was just the lack of choice. I will admit, near the end of the film, they do finally start showing more of Johnny's side, which thank God they did. It wasn't a complete pro Amber piece. But for the first half of the movie, it's pretty pro Amber. And they paint her in a very, pretty picture. Oh, woe is Amber and Johnny's the mess. And then later throughout the film, they do start to really show Johnny's side. And she looks crazy. She really does look like the Amber we know from the case. So it came a little too late, though, because they recreate a bunch of scenes that we don't have audio tapes for, which sort of blurs the water. And it's not like they're saying, here's Amber's side, here's Johnny's side, here's Amber's side, here's Johnny's side. Who do you believe? Which if they had done probably I would have been way more into and would have accepted a little bit more, even as ridiculous as it is. But the problem with this movie is it's just offensively bad, and they really just don't even know how to make a movie or pick a side or like tell a good story. They make so many cheap decisions throughout that it was really bothersome as someone who watches the trial. It was fun to like joke watch with you guys, but I can't imagine watching this by myself. I would get bored within the first 5-6 minutes. Kim, what was your overall takeaways as we review this and our final thoughts?
I think the overall takeaway here, if we're going to talk about it seriously, is that I find it incredibly frustrating that they talk about that they wanted to do this fairly. The actors said that, they wanted to show the trial fairly. Well, in order to show the trial fairly, you kind of have to do it accurately. And I could definitely see both Johnny fans and Amber fans being upset with some of the way that this was presented, because it did not follow either of their testimony at points. Particularly Australia was nothing close to what it was actually according to either of them. And it's just, and seeing also there is definitely this bias through the whole film that people who support Amber are smart and people who support Johnny are either just in it to make comedy videos or they're just thirsty. And it's very demeaning and it's very frustrating, especially when you consider how much of the general public was siding with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I pulled up that clip because you made that really well said. And here, just so we see it quickly, here's Depp Queen, money sign, money sign.
I just read an article, and that's from the talented Mr. Ripley. She's just speaking in movie quotes at this point. What a weirdo.
He had me at hello. Objection, we're only allowing quotes from movies made before 1980. Sustained.
So they're making all this buffoons or like Valley Girl, and then here's
Why
the
are people
Amber
attacking
supporter.
Amber with this nonsense. She said he made her feel like $1 million.
Like she's the voice of reality.
Your birthday, why she
like they cut to her throughout, like she's the voice of reason and she's the sane one. And meanwhile, it's always like the Valley Girl or the jokesters are the ones who are supporting Depp, which you said very eloquently. Brian wasn't doing that. Laura wasn't doing that. Tug wasn't doing that. We weren't doing that. A lot of the real people.
Yeah, I even remember that thing about the talented Mr. Ripley and everybody talking about that because we had some people send that to us and be like, oh my gosh, like that's totally a thing from that. And I remember you being like, no, it's not. Shut up to everybody that kept saying that because like you're making people look stupid. So it's like, yes, there was an element of some of that going on, but was it the vast majority? No, absolutely not. It's the whole thing is just ridiculous, and that impression of Marlon Brando that the actor
just
did.
An example of just here's Amber and Johnny falling in love, guys.
Can I borrow this?
Of course.
Yeah, Johnny just performing for Amber. This is how he won her.
Marlon Brando was Jack
Ready for
Sparrow.
this? Are you ready?
You'll always remember this as the day that you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow.
You know, my acting teacher would call that an interesting choice.
It's an interesting choice, you know.
Jesus. Yeah, there's a lot of other people that were mimicking this. We were comparing it to The Room. A lot of times it feels very Room-esque. It's laughably bad. It's boring. The choices made are just really the casting. I'm just scrolling through random portions of this. Like, this isn't Camille? What's going on there? Like, Judge Penny is awful. There's just so many bad decisions that they made. Here's the doodles. That's not his. His doodles made how much, Kim?
Millions. He's an artist.
And who is this judge? Oh my God, the judge is terrible. By the end of the film, they make these weird like scenes where this paralegal character that doesn't exist is like the only one supporting Amber who she talks to. And then this weird scene where Camille and her like, who's telling the truth? Can I buy you your coffee? And then at the very end, Johnny celebrates by paying this guard that is just all the guards in one that didn't exist either. And hey, go to the island before I lose it. And then at the very end, this weird Jeff Beck guy shows up and they do a song. And they literally made a song for the movie.
It's like it's trying to be Patty Lamar.
Exactly.
You know,
like let's do a sound alike. Yeah, just to show like Johnny's back and he's working again. He's doing what he wants to do. He's allowed because he was wrongfully accused. And they literally make a song. high life with fortune and fame. Riches, many friends came. But when the well runs dry, friends run quicker. Now I'm all alone at the river. What is this? No one wants to show when the party's over. Only when the wine flows free. Oh, there's Amber's baby. Oh, back from being down and out. I'll keep it close. She's not even going to see her fake baby in the movie. Close to me. Yeah. Oh, rock out, Johnny. Yeah. What a terrible mess of a movie. This movie is a complete ridiculous waste of time. I would not spend your time on it. Lewis, you only caught the tail end, but did you have any thoughts to add as we wrap up our review portion of this?
I was okay with Tubi doing this because I thought, okay, a PR stunt. It's really bad. They know it's bad, but when they try to be misleading by showing Johnny Depp putting his hands on Amber Heard.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it was a dream sequence. They also made it seem like Camille was second guessing her defense position, and that's insidious bull crap. So yeah, F these people. That is bull crap. And plus, Dr. Schmiegel, he bites his tongue. Where's that part? Where's that part? Huh?
Good question. There's a lot. Where are the freeloaders? Right, Kim? None of the Amber's freeloading friends are all completely void of this movie. They skip so much, but then they spend time on the weirdest choices, like Amber being very sad as at the end outside of the courtroom, and oh my god, I'm just scrolling through, and then it's so weird to watch the recreations. The Tubi actually like weirdly skipped certain recreations when we were watching because of the commercials, but it's very weird watching these with bad actors. I gotta say, here's Johnny.
Yeah, you're right.
Look at this, the Wish version of the TMZ clip. It's just so bad. It's so bad. This was a cash grab. It's offensively off. It's just frustrating because there's a story to be told here. And as I was saying, dude, I just can't even imagine why these actors did it without like really thinking about like, all right, well, who is this character of Amber Heard? Like all of them, like there's Amber Heard as a character is a villain of all villains to play. And I would think an actor would want to just jump into like portray the villains. These are usually more fun to play than the boring characters. And it was just frustrating to me that they were once in a while sort of showing her crazy, but then never fully really owning the fact of like, you know, I needed to see Amber's side doubt her. And they never wanted to even go there. They were like afraid to. Like that's what I think we're seeing a lot now. Just a lot of media and places are like afraid to like say the truth, which is that Johnny won and she lied, because they're still afraid of being canceled or sexism or misogynistic. And the movie just feels like that. They claim they wanted to be truthful, but they clearly didn't want to be truthful. They wanted to tell their biased version of it. And it happened throughout the whole story. There was a ton of bias throughout that really just bugged me. That the supporters are always, this Amber supporter that we were showing you is constantly throughout the movie so articulately defending all these moments. And I'm like, who was that in reality, Kim and Lewis? There was no one doing that during the trial. There were journalists that stepped forward after the trial who didn't watch the trial, but there was no experts like that throughout. That's what's so frustrating about it. They only came afterwards to sort of get that. There was a lot of fourth wall breaking. It's a mess. But I will end you on this one before we clip, and we'll talk some more. We're not going anywhere, but I wanted to give you guys a sort of a quick version. We'd be remiss to not show you this montage.
Linked to, ever.
Here it comes.
She's posing for the cameras.
She is. It's so weird to see a pose to pose. Actor pose as the real pose. She did it. There it is. Oh, she's mocking her. How dare you? How dare that woman mock the real Amber?
My dog stepped on a bee.
It was pretty good, though. I will give the actress credit. Right, Kim? She did get a little bit of Amber's cadences down.
I think she did. Her speech a couple times, it was like, oh, wow. Like, she really got that, putting the emphasis on the right thing, and definitely had some of the mannerisms down. Honestly, I think other than Spiegel, I think she was probably the best actor in all of it.
Yeah, there were moments where I was really annoyed by her, and I would say that's a positive review. She succeeded there.
Yeah.
So there you go. We're going to talk more about this. I want to see some of your takes. Maybe I'll open up the phone line and see your takes as well. Hot take, the Depp Heard trial. It is on Tubi. I don't recommend you give them any more views. This was just a very rushed cash grab, and they did not spend a lot of cash on it, clearly. But there it is. Avoid it at all costs. We watched it for you. Appreciate you guys. Make sure, again, if you want to watch the whole thing, hit that join button, become a member, and you can watch our watch. As long as it's still up, it should be. It is fair use. Pick a level, become a member, hit that join, then you'll watch it. I'll put a link. If you can't afford, no worries. At least hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts. Smash that like button as well. Make sure you do it to It's Kim on YouTube as well as Nerd Report. We got so much more to do. We're live, but I'm clipping this for YouTube. If you missed the whole show, that's where we were. Thank you for watching, everybody, on the replay.